There's a button at the bottom.
Yeah, but now it's all yellow.
Right next to the, it's frozen.
Once this band goes away, then you will find it.
What's up, everyone? I just wanted to say thank you to the whole team and especially the tech support team. From my end, I have to say, I needed you. But it's been a super fun experience and there's been amazing panelists. There's so much to discuss. There's so much to recap. But right now, we want to introduce to you a show that's super, it's a big passion project for everyone involved. It's called Design Diva. It was a birth of an idea that came from the fact that I had moved into a new apartment, and it was one of those things where you finally find a space that you love. Like, you connect to, you walk in, and you know, this is going to be your first journey to designing many homes that come to you in the future. And this was one space that I really wanted to finally make my home in Bombay. So Ritika and I were discussing this idea one day, and she was just like, it would be really cool. I said, where do I buy, this silly things? Where do I buy pillows or plants or just things that you want, and how do you start? What do you start with? Do you start with the furniture? Do you start with the art or the wall or the color of the wall or the bed or anything? And all of these questions, and designers and architects and people who design for a living and have that eye, how do you get in touch with them? So Design Diva was birthed with the idea of collaborating between many different designers, people who have an interest in wanting to celebrate and make a space their home. It's not to be fancy. It's just to be able to have a show that helps you redecorate or decorate a space and call it your home. And that's why it's the perfect home makeover, because it's for all shapes and sizes, all price ranges, all ages. We just want to be here and help you design and help you learn. So I'm going to give it over to Siddharath, but there's so much more to say, and stay tuned.
Thank you, Diva. I don't think in all the time I have known you to finish your opening statement in 2 minutes. And I think that is fabulous. I am very proud of you. And I think you've done a fantastic job with introducing me today. So you know what? We're going to dive straight in, because we have the distinct possibility that this entire panel goes completely out of control. Before that happens, I am going to go to the only person who, at this point, there are two people who are sane at the moment on this panel. So I'm going to go with Ritika first. Ritika, let's start talking about the genesis behind the Design Diva show. I know Diva has already given us a little info, and I want you to talk about exactly why is it that Jim would refuse to work with anybody but Anjaly.
Taking from where Diva left, we were just discussing and she was moving on, and we decided to do the pilot episode as an experiment with her house. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. It gave a nice look, and then we were having this discussion at a club, famous club in Juhu, and then suddenly. And with three other pretty ladies, of course. And suddenly Jim walks in and
unannounced it's by Jim, who just pops a spot and wants to just know what's going on.
Yeah. So and yes, I think Diva will say it in a better way, and then I can get to the part where Jim put his.
I love the fact that most of the times when I meet Jim, it's not a plan. It could be in the middle of the road, early in the morning, or just pop over, and it's where you pick up where you left off. So we were having this conversation, and he comes with his backpack and he sits down and he's like, and I probably hadn't seen him before that for maybe 6 or 8 months, and he was like, what's up? What are you guys talking about? And I'm like, well, I just moved into a new space. And he's like, I'm going to move into a new space. I was like, cool, where? And then we spoke about it, and he's like, I don't know what to do because my landlord is just leaving me with this emerald green velvet couch, and that's all I have to my name. And I was like, I have a couch that I want to get rid of and a dining table, which you are all resting on right now. And all I have to my name is a dining table. So what do we do? And he's like, yeah, what do we do? Help me decorate my space. And I was like, okay, let's just make this an idea. And he had already, I think by then, known that he wanted to work with Anjaly. And I think he had an idea of what he wanted, but it was great for all of us to come together and make this an effort, because I think with all of us distracting each other and liking different corners of the house. More plants.
Yeah. We were always we had so much fun doing this because and I still remember the time when I walked into the to Jim's house and gave him all these options. You know, we have this designer, we could do this, we could do that, and he suddenly like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? I just met somebody. My friend just walked in. She's seen this space, and I was like, "Who is this person you're talking about?" And then he just goes like, "Oh, she's amazing. She's from Goa. She's Anjaly Mody." And I was like, "Oh shit!" We actually sent her an email to be a part of this. And after that, Jim made sure that he like. That was the only tantrum, to be honest. But he put his foot down and he was like, "I am not doing this with anyone but Anjaly."
Yeah.
Jim, would you want to agree to this?
I completely
Please say
agree to this. That's exactly how it went down.
What's the story there? What's the story there?
She sent me a PowerPoint. I think you sent me, Ritika, a PowerPoint.
Yeah. With like
The different
options.
designers, blah 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 blah.
Mood boards.
And I happen to know Anjaly Mody from a couple years, and you can hear the story of that on the actual episode. But basically, I know her sister Aditi Mody because she produced a film that I acted in once called Teen or Radha, which everyone should watch. And then post that, I met Anjaly as well one time in her house. I think I'll tell it again. I lived. I went up to the third floor. Aditi had told me to go up to the third floor to go to the pool. I said bye to Aditi outside of the lift. I was in the lift. The lift opened on the second floor. And then Aditi was on the second floor, but it wasn't Aditi. It was Anjaly. And they both have, this hair, curly and Parsi and, and smile, and she smiled. And I was just like, what is happening in this house? What is this house? This house of many floors and many Anjalis and Aditis. And then, so that's how I had met her in the first place. And then when I saw that Josmo was included on that little thingy majiggy, I was like, oh, then I can work with Anjaly because I know it'll be a great fit, and I know that she already has some understanding of me. And somebody else, it'll be an impersonal take on my house as opposed to a personal take. Which, why would you have an impersonal one if you can get, firstly, the best, and then secondly, she knows you? I mean, it's a double whammy.
I think that's what made the entire thing really easy as well, because I already had a friendship with Jim before, right? So we had that comfort level, and there were many times where I had to bully him into a decision and he bullied me into a decision, and that's nice, right? And there's something really beautiful that comes out of the familiarity of that. And because we had such little time, we kind of relied or kind of, fell back on the friendship to kind of make it work against the challenges that we had. So I think it was a perfect fit. And Jim, as we know, is a very loud, out there, honest personality, right? So what you see is what you get. And he had this vision of the house in his head, but he articulated it in a way that I've never had anyone articulated. So he sent me these photographs of women with jaguars and about maybe 30, 40 photographs of just homes filled with plants. And he's like, okay, Anjaly, I don't know what I want, but this is kind of what I want it to look like. I wanted to have this kind of jungle ethereal vibe. I have all these teacups and saucers and ashtrays and shoes.
I did shoe as well. Just a picture of a shoe.
Artifacts.
There was a photo of a shoe. I'm like, all right, I've never gotten a photo of a shoe in a brief, but I like it, right? Because it was kind of bizarre. And I think that's what made it kind of cool, that he just kind of painted these large strokes and then walked away. And I really liked that. Like, I felt that the act of doing that kind of showed that he trusted me and Ritika with what to do. And he never really interfered. And I made sure that I filled the house with as many plants as I possibly could. And
you can just your screen and give us a preview of all the plants.
Oh, I take you on a little walking tour?
Yeah, why not?
At one point in the middle of the whole situation, she had sent me some options for coffee table, and other things in general. And I had seen, and she'd picked the one that she thought was good, but the team had sent me like 2 or 3 options. So I was like, oh, actually, I really like these ones, you know? And I was like, oh, I think these ones would be good, Anjali. And she was just like, no. No. We're going with the other one. And I was like, what? That's mine. I have to drink coffee after. and of course, she was right. We went with her decision. It was that simple. But she just did me the kindness of explaining her thinking, which was absolutely right. And then once I had gone through that experience one time of like being told, just absolutely no to the thing that I actually like, and then feeling like okay, and then getting the reasoning behind it. After that, I trusted her basically with everything else because she was absolutely right. It is nicer the one that she's chosen. And actually, my sister is moving into a new house in the States, and she was trying to pick a coffee table, and she showed me an option. I was like, no. No, it breaks up the space. If you can't put things underneath it, all of the same things that you said.
Yeah, Jim was super accommodating of the OCD that I had of doing up the entire space. I think I had to do a lot of convincing to even kind of get him, I don't know, familiar or comfortable with the idea of having about 70 plants in his house. I mean, anyone that hasn't had a plant would be a bit afraid, but I think he was open to anything and he really trusted me, like he did ask why, and we did have a back and forth, which I think is really healthy because you don't want someone not asking you questions. Just those don't look very alive. They're surviving.
No, but I actually, side note, want to thank you for your Instagram stories the other day, your plant series, because I learned so much. I enjoyed that so much. It made me want to buy more plants for my house. And this is coming from someone who already has a garden full of plants, but still, yes, here we go. There's something,
guys. Before we go completely off track, I am going to have to bring this back to what Anjali just said. Jim's brief was largely to create an urban jungle. Right, and you mentioned you've got anywhere between 70 to 80 plants in a house in Bombay, right? What extra steps did you have to take to actually be able to incorporate those plants in a tiny enclosed space? I mean, I know we don't have huge, massive bungalows with ample space and light in the city of Bombay. What is the entire process like?
So. I think what we did differently here is that we use the plants as accessories in the space, right? And mind you, this wasn't like an actual makeover. It was a styling makeover, which means we didn't really have the option of breaking down any walls, repainting anything. We had to work with the existing kind of framework that we had, which made it that much more of a challenge because you're working with a fixed block, right? There's only very little that you can do. And what was also a bigger challenge is that there were certain pieces that Jim had that, we both felt had to be in the space. Like his desk, it's a masterpiece, right? Like I wouldn't trade that off for anything. It's an arched table that literally commands the space that it sits in. So you had all these kind of Lego blocks that you had to kind of work around, but also make sure that it made sense as a whole. So what we decided is that we're going to just deprioritize other accessories. We're obviously going to have a few of them, so you'll see a few of them on the bookshelf. But the main protagonist in the entire space is the plants. So where usually a side table would have come, we replaced it with a pot and a plant. Where you'd have maybe some knickknacks on a bookshelf, we put small little cactuses or geraniums or, really little plants that kind of act as sculptural additions to the space. So we kind of made sure that was a layer that almost seemed intuitive to the space. And I know Jim will second me when I say this, that it wasn't just him that needed convincing. It was his entire infrastructure that had to make sure that the plants made it after I left. So, after I had done convincing Jim and I had him on board, I had to actually sit with his staff, walk them through each and every plant, tell them what the plant needed, what kind of sunlight the plant needed, how many times to put water, where not to put water, I mean, it was quite comical. I had people just kind of looking and staring at me and wondering why I'm going into so much detail with her. But she's going to be the one making sure that Jim gets to keep this urban jungle, right? So I think a big part of it is really just familiarizing the people that are going to be maintaining the space with the owner of the house. It doesn't just lie on the owner to make it happen, you know. And I have over 500 plants in my home and I'm working 6 days a week. There's no way I could take care of them if I didn't have the help of people taking care of the house with me. So it's kind of like a collective effort. And once you have that in place, it's like it's a walk in the park.
It's a walk in the park. I mean, Jim is
Jim,
Anjali right when she says it's a walk in the park?
Well, it's kind of a walk in the park. There used to be a huge tree here in the corner, right in this corner, like by the in front of the curtains. But it was too big for the house, and it started to grow too tall. One problem. The other problem is it started to get a little bit of fungus. So I've moved it, and then the whole house can get it. So I had to drag it out, and like somehow I put some.
Did you prune it?
You know, something that we had unpacked a while ago. For some reason, they aren't taken away yet. It's like these like thin plywood beams. So yeah, first I put it on its side. I pruned it. I wiped off all the fungus with like water and whatever, and then dragged it outside. And now it's standing on the landing between the floors because there's a window there, and it needs constant openness to not
Natural air.
fungus. The other problem is in a house, I mean, it's okay now while I'm here because for a lot of the days I can keep the windows open. But if I go, they get this like stagnant air at all times is a problem, can lead to fungus that I found. So there's that. That's a bit of a challenge. In the middle of the lockdown, when, there was no help could come for quite a while. I think only this last month people
2 months.
Sangeeta has rejoined me. But before then, I was quite enjoying it. I got to know them a lot better. I got to know a lot better how much water is okay, whether you should flood it every now and then. Like the hanging ones, for example, because they have holes right at the bottom. If you add too much water, it ends up seeping out. So it ends up drying out because it's hard to gauge exactly the amount to do it. So it's simple. You just flood it once every 2 weeks or once every 10 days. And then just let it drip into the sink. And then once it's done dripping, put it back and then it should be fine for another week. Things like that. I got to learn. The app you sent me, Picture This, came into use. I would take pictures.
I swear by that app.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, even I started using that.
Jim, I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Same. A whole other episode just on plants, like how to water plants and how to look after them. But
Yeah.
And you really like them then after a while. You're like,
as well.
I'm full on like, oh, look at you, you new little plant, tree, leaf is coming out.
I started.
No, what are you doing today? I hope you're not sad.
Exactly.
Have you noticed that you've been interacting with the house differently than you were before the plants? Like you're spending more time in areas that you wouldn't usually spend because of the plants?
Maybe not. I think the lockdown in general has created me spending a lot more time in this corner, the like where the desk is.
The study.
Than ever before. Because so much work from home, so much reading of scripts, just like not in the car or on your phone because you're traveling somewhere. So this whole area has just suddenly come alive. Like, I feel like it holds the place of work now.
Yeah.
I don't sit here to do anything casual. I only sit here for work. So it holds like a nice workplace. And I've started all of these lessons, Zoom lessons. So all of the lessons are happening from here and I'm really enjoying it. So each day I'll have each week I must have 3, 6, 8, about 8 different Zoom session lessons. Three are the same, but anyway, yeah. And then, of course, now I have this Mimi, which likes to destroy plants. So it's a constant battle between the destruction of the plants and the letting the plants live. But I know it may sound silly, but it's true. If I leave the house for like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and then I come back, like say I visit my mother in town. I come back and I'm like, like my space, like how I like it's
Also, this is the first time you have your own space, right?
Yeah.
Like before this, you've always been
always had
sharing.
flatmates.
It
Yeah.
means a lot. It's like it's not a huge deal as an, oh my God, my own space. It's just, wow, like the meaning of a home just like comes together. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter about the size, right? Because we all know how, especially in Bandra, how the flats are. It's hard to find everything you're looking for in your space, but just doing it up properly, having your little elements that help, they just make the biggest difference.
I think it really is a huge deal, actually, for me particularly, because I feel like it's come with a general moving on to a different stage of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had been avoiding, I think, moving on to it. You know, a more settled, a more chosen,
Settled.
More responsible.
a more, you know, all of those things. Like, you know, you're 32 now. You know, you don't have to be wandering around.
All right, you know what?
With the cola.
I'm going to come back with another question. You know, we've been talking about plants for an awful long time. I think it's probably time for the viewers to know the story behind how Ritika got shouted while they were buying those pots.
Oh God.
Yeah. That's Anjaly.
I think it's time for us to have that discussion.
Yeah.
So,
Anjaly, I think you want to say this too.
So this is not on the episode, but it was actually a huge task just getting plants into the episode and into Jim's place, and it took a lot of convincing with Jim and Ritika, only because it was such an unorthodox decision to have so many plants in an apartment. It's just not something that people usually do without a little bit of pushback. And so we had a similar experience at the place where we were buying the pots at the nursery on Bali Hill. And I got the same kind of pushback from the guy who was selling us the plants. And I told him that, you know, this is what we're doing. We're doing an episode. And, you know, Jim is going to be in it. And it's a makeover show. And, you know, try to get him excited about the entire idea. Because I think that once you give people context, they kind of understand. And they're like, oh, yeah, you know, we get it. Okay, let's help you. Right? Yeah. And it just didn't go as planned. This guy started freaking out and he started telling me that I didn't know what I was doing and that it was idiotic to have 70 plants in an apartment because who does that? And, you know, I was kind of ready for this, right? Because I had a conversation with Ritika about it. Then I had prepared myself a little better for Jim. And then I had another conversation with his maid. So I was 3 conversations down. So this guy, when he came at me, I'm like, I got this, right? And Ritika freaked out. She started yelling at the guy, and then he started yelling back. And rightfully so, we'd had a long day, and like, you know, we had a limited amount of time to buy these plants, and it wasn't going according to the schedule that Ritika had set aside for the plant buying. So she was just getting really riled up, and these two are just going at it, and I'm just standing there like, okay.
Ritika is seriously.
I think they're gonna break into a fist fight soon, right? And then I come in. I come in, and obviously she's playing the role of bad cop, so I have to play good cop, and I'm usually the bad cop in situations, right? I don't even know what it is to be good cop. So I'm like trying to pretend like I'm empathizing, and then I'm calming her down, and then I'm calming him down. And I mean, obviously, at the end of it, we got 70 pots, but it was just quite a task because you don't really have a situation where someone is telling you not to buy plants from them, right? Or not buy so many pots. I'm like, I'm giving you business, so why don't you just help me out, you know? So that was a bit strange, but after having like 4 roadblocks for this one decision, like, I had like blinders on by the end of it, right? I'm like, okay, this is happening. I just need to figure out how to make it happen and how to make it last. And when the plants actually got into the space and they got potted and, you know, the guys came and cleaned out the space and there wasn't any mud and dirt and like plastic around, that decision alone was personally a sigh of relief for me and Ritika because it went against everything. It went against the grain of every single conversation. That it was kind of like a sigh of relief in the end, So that meant a lot for the episode, for
And
us.
exactly, and we have to thank the team who, kind of like they send all the plants on time, and all the potting actually happened in Jim's kitchen. So that was another task that all the potting had to happen in Jim's kitchen. And
Can we please pause for a second and understand how the same incident happened when we were using my house as a pilot, and the plants first, the plants, okay, the outdoor furniture. We order all this outdoor furniture. I'm like, oh my god, I have a garden. I can buy outdoor furniture. She was like, yeah, I have a guy, and then I have plants coming for you in mini little pots. You can hang, and you can just place it on your TV. She had it all sorted, like her checklist. Ritika, okay? House of Ritika. I've gone now because the plant guys don't come on time. And when you're shooting this, especially because little blooper behind the scenes information is every house we've decorated and just remade the space. We've done it all in one day, which, mind you, when we have to time everything on the other people is probably one of the biggest gambles you can take, because you have different areas where you need to shoot, and it's not the most massive space. So she's like, plant guy coming at 4 p.m., outdoor furniture coming at 5 p.m. Everything is set, the lighting is going to be great. We're sitting there, it's 5:30. Where are the plants? Where's the coffee table?
I was so scared of putting plants.
Where's the outdoor furniture? She has gone. She's left the building. Okay, my house. She's left the building. She's like, 1 second, I'm gonna solve all of this. So Ritika disappears for an hour. I'm like, okay, I'll just take over I'll just be production, host, doing my house, outfit changes every 3 minutes. So she's gone and walked to the shop to get the plants.
Yeah, because it was 5 minutes away.
And on the way back, so she's walking with these plants in her hand, and on the way back, a truck is following her with the outdoor furniture. I'm like, this is what we should be filming right now. And then the guy comes and he's like, do you want to keep the plastic on? Do you want me to take it off? What else happened? Oh, and then in between, my OCD kicked in, and I was like, there's too much dust on the floor. So then I started listening.
Diva started vacuuming.
I love
out of nowhere.
Just like I say good morning to my plants, my Dyson gets as warm of a good morning. So I just had a OCD moment.
I think Jim should also get one.
Squat on the floor and start vacuuming mid-episode. But I think we should release a whole nother series of bloopers for this.
Yeah.
Everything goes according to plan.
So that's Mimi. We can see Mimi there.
Mimi, she went. She was not having it.
So I think Siddharth, the next question should be to Jim, because he's so well behaved.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
give him a chance to speak. All the girls are talking. He's
about visuals right now. Why isn't he guys a little tour, a little sneak peek?
No.
Actually, no. I mean, that gives away the entire episode.
Yeah, watch the episode.
Okay,
Jim. Okay, let. Okay,
obviously, I'm not on the marketing team. I'm just.
So I've been told to ask you a question. I think the only one that comes to mind is, out of all the pieces that Anjaly has put in your home, which is your favorite?
The bed.
So good.
Why?
The bed is the best.
I think the bed was the hook for him. Yeah.
The bed is gorgeous. I think a lot of the rest of the house planning kind of came taking the bed as inspiration. That general vibe. There's a long back and forth about it being a clunker, but maybe
we should discuss that, because if we enter his bedroom, there's this
long story short, it's mounted to the wall eventually 2 months later.
It clunked enough. Yeah.
It was clunking for 2 months.
I mean, it's very heavy piece of wood. It's naturally going to be.
It actually takes over the entire room. So any other piece in that space would have just been overshadowed with that bed.
Totally.
And Jim chose a really nice shape for the headboard as well. So it's really nice because I think that room gets a lot of natural light. So it kind of gives this light brown, orange glow to the entire room. It's really beautiful.
True.
I love that bench in the room as well because you could just like throw stuff on it or just use it as like a, what do we call that? We coined the term. What did we call it?
Ottoman.
Ottoman.
No,
An
we
ottoman.
coined it as like a throw it corner, like throw whatever. You guys are being too proper about the word.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Is this the corner where we put the Josmo tie Ottoman?
The wrap
The
tie.
bench.
The bench. But no, it was just like a everything corner. Throw it on whatever. Just throw all your shit.
I still have
I think that's actually what Jim wanted for that corner. Like he wanted a spot where he could just put things and not put things on the bed.
Yeah.
Jim and I were exploring whether that area should become a space to sit. And I think, Jim, do you remember we went back and forth and thought, let's put a chair there with like a table lamp or a floor lamp.
Yeah.
But then we realized that you just wanted to sit on the bed the whole time. So you didn't really want a chair in that room.
Yeah.
So I think it worked out with the ottoman.
I have never sat on that ottoman. Never. I've never looked at it and been like,
thought as much.
It's like no reason. Also, if you're sitting on the bed, the way the room is just organized, up against the wall, your view is just of trees and crows, and it's too beautiful. There's no reason not to look straight out like that. It's really nice.
So I think
people are eager.
we have covered all the points.
Yes.
Except like the few technical points that Anjaly might want to add.
No, I think, I think it was interesting because a lot of people see makeover in a really different way. But I think this was a styling makeover, like I'd mentioned earlier.
You got trolled for that.
I got trolled for that. But I'm really glad that Jim kind of threw that challenge of the emerald sofa into the space.
Yes.
It kind of brings the entire space together, and I wouldn't expect a young bachelor to have an emerald green sofa. It was a really nice choice, and I'm glad that he kind of went with it. Because it brings the entire space together and everything else is super muted. So that color just kind of screams at you when you walk into the space, like you understand the entire space just kind of by looking at the living room, where it's still functional, it's a little quirky, it's loud but soothing at the same time. And I think every space kind of has that vibe, you have the study that has this really beautiful art deco desk, but then you have this mustard yellow carpet. So there's like a hint of color everywhere, and I really think that Jim, like when I think of Jim, I think of a really colorful kind of personality. I was doing this research when we were doing the episode, and I found these pair of Louis Vuitton red sunglasses, and they just had Jim all over them. So he kind of commands a space when he walks into a room, and I wanted the home to kind of reflect that, but I wanted every inch of the home to reflect it. Another thing that was kind of cool is that, there were kind of certain non-negotiables with Jim. The emerald sofa was one of them. He had these really interesting masks. Where were they from, Jim? Were they from Sri Lanka? Guatemala. So they had to be facing the entrance. So that was an interesting challenge. And then we had this desk that kind of came from the Art Deco era, but everything else was really contemporary. So Jim and I played with the desk for a really long time in terms of saying, okay, how do we make this, how do we position this? Where do we make it work? Where does he want to be looking when he's sitting at the desk? And that was really nice because, not every decision was a decision that was taken together, but the important ones were. And I think that's why it kind of came together so beautifully because, the essentials or the things that were really important to Jim were like boxes that were checked. And I think that's why he's enjoying the space so much because it kind of seems like an extension of what he had already thought of. And that makes me really happy that, what he had originally envisioned. Sorry?
That makes me really happy.
It makes us both happy.
I can't say I've been like more excited than this during COVID to be able to like virtually view this space. So I think it's time for the preview. All on board? All on board?
Yeah.
Design Diva?
Yay, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Are we reading the chat? Are you asking us to?
What's happening?
Okay.
Oh, no.
This is, I've had to pull up the carpet, unfortunately, Anjali, because of the cat. She kept like pooping on it when she was younger. It was very annoying.
Oh no. Maybe we can bring it back.
But yeah, I think when she gets a bit older, it'll be time.
Just give us a sneak peek because
Also, Jim, we have to talk about the paintings and your.
Yeah, not everything, Jim.
Not
One
everything.
thing.
Not everything.
Yeah, just think.
Just perhaps the bed.
Another thing. Wow.
Wow.
You've kept that bookshelf
One
really
for
nice.
anyone who counts the plants in the frame. Oh, I love that sofa.
Yeah.
Okay, don't go into the bedroom, Jim.
Yeah. Bedroom final reveal.
The sofa. Yeah, green. It's the only thing that was in the apartment that as soon as I walked in, I was like, okay, this I want to keep. For sure, 100%. I'm buying this off the previous tenant. The sofas, the couches. I just love them. Oh, I think my pants match them today.
Oh, nice.
Traveling urban jungle in your home.
Yeah, I just I remember somebody had come over, some girl I was seeing at the time had come over, and I had bought some plates from Nico Bar, I think, and I was like, oh, I think I'm starting to guess the theme of what this place is going to be, and she was like, is it jungle? And I was like, hey, what? How did you know? She was like, yeah. Looks like jungle. And I was like, oh, okay. And then there was only the couch at that point and the plates.
Yeah, and the bowls.
I guess I'm very predictable, huh?
I said, and the little bowls and your shoes.
The little bowls, the shoes. None of the paintings were up. Anjali decided where a lot of them would go. The gold mirror, another thing I would have never imagined being in my house, but somehow it just absolutely works.
The mirror at the entrance.
Nice. Huh?
The mirror at the entrance.
Yeah, at the entrance.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Really nice.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to just play the video.
Preview. Do it.
Yay!
Oh, that's what the preview is. Not the
Yeah, not your house. I don't know why you started moving around the house.
Okay, then I was like,
Decided. Okay.
okay, guys, ready.
Okay, let's do this.
Whoop, whoop.
It's kind of like watching a scene from the outside, somebody, and being like, wow, how did the actor know to do all of these things and this blocking? And, it's like you watch and you're like, oh, that's good acting, but I have no idea the roadmap wherein that has happened, Like, I see the scene, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what he's done there. Like, comparatively for the house, I wouldn't have a clue what that roadmap is.
On this episode of Design Diva, we are off to see Jim's new apartment. He's just moved in and wants us to create an urban jungle in the concrete structure. Anjaly Mody took up the challenge to create that dramatic look.
Holy shit.
All the live long day, all the live long day. I'll be moving along, singing my song, running around, ain't nothing wrong. All the live long day. I said all the live long day.
Welcome everyone to Design Diva.
Hi.
Hi Jim.
Hey.
Welcome home, or should I say welcome me home?
You are welcome home.
Thank you. This is your house.
This is my house.
This is our show.
This is our show.
Design Diva. So take me through the space.
Yes.
I know we're sitting on this amazing, lush, green, like jungle green couch, which I like.
This I got from the previous tenant of the house. I was like, I want to buy those for sure.
So this is the only thing that you have right now in your house?
Basically, yeah. I just have these.
So we're really starting from scratch.
And
we
I have a
place
mattress.
He has a couch and a mattress. So stay tuned because
the essentials.
Jim's house has large windows with natural light streaming in through the day. The view is green from all the windows, and he wanted to bring in that green into his home. We started with one couch set, an old coffee table, and a vintage desk that belonged to Homi Baba and was Jim's treasured purchase. The bedroom also had large windows, a built-in wardrobe with a mattress. Let's see how Anjaly transformed this place into an urban jungle. We loved using the state-of-the-art infrastructure at Istituto Marangoni. Anjaly and Ritika were coordinating online till they got a chance to meet at this wonderful location at CJ House in Worli. The library with the expansive view of the sea became the best place to brainstorm and shortlist the mood board, color theme, and decor accents for Jim's home. All the selections were seamlessly done online and delivered on time for setup. We picked up all the furniture and some rugs from Josmo, cushions and curtains from Ode and Clio, and all the decor accessories were from the decor cart. The linen from Portico and around 70 plus plants from Rising Gardens.
Normally people do neutral colors when they think of big furniture for a space. So what prompted you to design and decorate according to that?
So you're right, the sofa is a bit overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
With the color, it's like a really bold emerald green, like Jim.
Yeah, like
Very
Jim.
bold. So I had to tone the colors down. I had to bring a lot of warmth into the space. So, you know, even the pillows have like nice beige color with like a little bit of an embellishment.
Beige, yeah, but beige but not like washed out, like this still has
Yeah, and like it has some nice details, textures.
Yeah.
The carpet is like really, really toned down and muted. So, you know, kind of brings everything together. So this is my favorite part of the house.
This
like,
is
I
my
absolutely
favorite
love
color.
it.
I can't even look up before like focusing on this.
It's nice, right?
Firstly, another textured rug, but I love this color. I think it's just pure happiness.
It's a haldi color.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no yellow in the entire house. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh.
Nice, right?
Bedroom. Yeah, I mean, okay, so the first thing, let's just start by the first thing I noticed was this headboard.
I know.
It's quite something.
It's by Josmo.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm kind of obsessive about details.
Yeah.
And if they are there, they need to make sense.
Yeah, this
So
makes
this
sense.
color matches that, and then the rust matches the wood.
Yeah.
So it all
picks
kind of
up.
comes together. And
It
there's
really
a recall.
complements each other.
Yeah.
It does. Let's go find Jim and
Yeah.
show him the space. Let's
Okay,
go.
let's do it.
Jim was an outdoor shoot for a week while Anjaly and her team worked their magic.
Ooh, I like the plants already.
Wait.
Okay.
Are you ready to see your green paradise?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Shall I?
Come on in. Okay, I guess you can
Tell me
open your
when.
eyes. 1, 2, 3. Isn't this mirror something else? Did you ever think you would have like a gold mirror in your house?
I mean, I do, as you
I-
can see, I
yes.
do like gold.
So tell me how
Oh shit, nice. Hey, and a little off center as well. I like it.
finally found a place for all that art.
Oh, these are good. These go so well with the I have all these plates and stuff. It just matches perfectly.
Yeah. And did you ever think that you could add like more to this couch, more fun pillows with beaded work?
I mean, it's such a loud couch. I was worried about I didn't feel like adding anything because it just spoke so much by itself. But this is nice. It's like muting it a little bit in a nice way. I see they have my antelope god up as well.
They have
that
your
was one of
antelope
my
god.
main requests. I love these as well.
I know Anjaly did a great job with those because she's so detailed when it comes to the color. Like that stripe goes with the rug. If you see this, the textured rug, it just picks it up, right?
And it looks like the bookcase goes with the table. The legs are the same, right?
How do you feel about this bookcase?
Oh, I like it a lot.
I know you had lots of trinkets, so I think they wanted to make room for all of that.
Oh, I really like it. It's so simple, but it's like the perfect. How do I say? Like it's like a frame for everything inside of it in a way that doesn't take away from the things inside, but also speaks itself somehow.
Yeah, I think it speaks itself, and I don't think it's a typical bookshelf. That's what I love about it.
This is a great pairing because those are all kind of portraits and figures.
Yeah.
And all of the frames also match And these two are the only frames that didn't match actually that have been put here, and this it's perfect. But I had the desk over here, and one sec, I just want to look at it from far away.
It's changed the space because if you had it here, it kind of blocked off this whole section.
Also, I didn't even realize, but you couldn't really see the curve of the desk.
Yeah.
You couldn't appreciate it the same way you can appreciate it there.
Now you can see it, and I love what Anjali has done with these chairs.
Oh yeah, they
because
go so
this
well.
desk, as its own with the chair, has so much character. There's a story behind it, but she's lightened it up. And like what I was chatting with her earlier, and she was just like, it's a new story paired with an old story, and I think that's how all stories form anyway. We started off with a mattress, okay?
Yes.
Remember, everyone, we just started with a mattress.
All I had was a mattress.
So you ready?
Yes.
I want to follow you.
Okay. Oh my god, that is sweet.
This, right? I love it.
But isn't it going to be noisy?
No, not at all.
Oh, it's to the wall. Yeah,
It's-
I guess you have to do that.
But look at what she's done here again with these curtains. She's matched this color to your little bedroom furniture, these tan straps. I mean, and she's kept that whole oak wood feel in mind.
Look at just the texture on this ottoman. It's so beautiful.
Nice, no?
Yo. Is this all Josmo? This
Yep.
is Josmo, yeah?
It's all Josmo. And you know,
Ooh, this is also nice.
Yeah, this is really nice.
Velvet, I love velvet.
all right. Oh, there we go.
One second, I'm gonna come in again. Yes, I love it. I love it. And this hanging plant is like just that one little.
Yeah. And this is just this piece of art is like the perfect pop of color in this room.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all you need.
Oh man, I love it.
So when we spoke to Anjali, she did mention that how much you love nature and birds and flowers.
That's true.
And she did tell me that you had like a green couch as a background.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that
We chose this peacock cushion. I think it blends beautifully in the house.
Yeah.
And what do you think of her entire collection?
Oh well, as a stunted adolescent male, I've always dreamed of having a tree house, right? Which is a thing. Also, yeah, I grew up in Sydney where there was the potential for a treehouse, so it's always been there in my mind. So when I moved into this place and I could see trees all around me, I kind of wanted to make this space into a kind of like quasi-jungle kind of thing. And the plates that I went and bought for myself, completely unrelated, were these.
Oh wow, that like
Match so
completely
perfectly.
matches.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure, can we do them side by side?
That's synchrony.
Oh yes. Ode and Cleo.
Oh, and Cleo.
We planned a surprise celebration for Jim's home handover. What better way than getting the party started collection from a Shandong experience? Cheers to all the brands out there, the production team, the crew, and help, and a special thanks to Anjali and Ritika for all the coordination. Kudos, gals. This is the dream makeover for Jim that gives you the feel of a green paradise in the bustling city of Bombay. While Jim enjoys his space, we are planning another episode of Design Diva with yet another celebrity. Stay tuned to see how your favorite celebrities live. Catch all the behind the scenes and other episodes on the News 18 network. And on Instagram, go follow us at Design Diva Show.
All right then.
Okay. Yeah, we have like people commenting. Hi, Odin.
Lovely, guys.
Odin is here.
Very nice.
Yeah, nicely done with like I don't know how many months it took. Such an inspiration, amazing work. Anjali, all the messages are for you. What an awesome space. Then people are like
Drooling over all the Josmo pieces.
Thanks, guys.
yeah, such an inspiration, amazing work, drooling all over the Josmo. Oh, I missed that one. Yes, guys, go check out Josmo on Instagram as well. They're very active, and there's also a sale going on, right, Anjali? Do it.
Yeah, there is.
Still
Till
on.
the 31st of July.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, for those who don't know Josmo, go check out josmostudio.com. Our Instagram page is quite delicious. But yeah, it's nice seeing this whole thing come full circle. It's been quite a while since we did this, and
we had to
it's nice because it's a really beautiful way to showcase upcoming brands in a really nice way. Pair them up with a brand that's been doing it for a while, so that you kind of support each other. I think that's what happened here.
Yeah.
And it's always nice having clients and personalities like Jim to just make the entire thing a lot of fun.
Can't wait to shoot
So
the
great
next
job.
one. Thank you, Anjali. Thank you for being like so patient with me as well. I've been very difficult with this one because we also had to face a lot of difficulties, releasing this episode. So yeah, it is a special one, and it's the first one, so it's always going to be my favorite. Thank you,
Wonderful.
Siddharth, and thank you all, for actually being a part of Collab Cloud. We just thought of this because actually we had nothing else to do. Yeah, to be very honest,
That's not true. I think all of us had an insane amount of things to do.
we had things to do in isolation, and we just thought that we should just put it all together. Yeah, and no, my team was totally free because all the shoots were cancelled, right? And we thought we had to come up with something new, and I was just happy that Siddharth could be a part of this, and then Anjali came in. So yes. Thank you all. Anjali, you can, reply to all the messages, and I'm going to take screenshots and share. We're going to release the episode on YouTube as well. So please like, share, subscribe. Send it out to as many people as you want, and check out all the other brands as well. They have got some amazing products, and most of them are based out of India. And let's support each other. That's about it.
All right. With that, we shall call the end to season 1 of Collab Cloud. And we all had a wonderful time putting this whole thing together. Thank you, Anjali, for joining us today.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Bye, guys. See you soon, because we are already flooded with messages that when is the next one coming in. So we are planning one soon because yes. I'll promise that there'll be more products on the platform by then, by the next one, so that we can experiment more, bring in more designers to come and create spaces live. So yeah, bye.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And drop in all your messages, tag us on Instagram, spread the word, tell people about Collab Cloud and all the other brands. Thank you.